Gestational diabetes is a form of diabetes that develops for the first time in around 1 out of every 10 pregnancies. It doesn't usually cause noticeable symptoms, but it can cause problems for you and your baby during pregnancy and beyond. That's why all pregnant women will be screened for this condition during the 3rd trimester, or earlier if you have risk factors. A few factors can increase your risk. These include a BMI in the overweight or obese range, a sedentary lifestyle, previously having gestational diabetes, having prediabetes when you weren't pregnant, or diabetes in your immediate family, having polycystic ovarian syndrome, or previously delivering a baby weighing more than 9 pounds or 4.1 kilograms. Also, people who are Black, Hispanic, Native American, or Indigenous, or of Asian descent are typically more likely to develop gestational diabetes. How it happens. All types of diabetes, including gestational diabetes, affect how your cells process glucose. Food contains 3 major components: carbohydrates, protein, and fat. The stomach breaks those down and sends them to the small intestine to be absorbed. From there, nutrients make their way through the body via your bloodstream. Complex carbohydrates get broken down into the simple sugar called glucose before entering the bloodstream, which is why your blood sugar rises right after you eat. Glucose is the fuel for your cells. It cannot enter the cells on its own. It needs the help of insulin, a hormone secreted by an organ called the pancreas. Insulin works like a key that opens the doors of each cell and lets the glucose in. When the cells throughout your body use glucose, your blood sugar goes down. Normally, even after a large meal high in sugar or carbs, the body adjusts the amount of insulin the pancreas secretes to balance the blood sugar. When things are working correctly, the liver stores excess glucose, keeping your blood sugar stable. In someone with diabetes, the blood sugar stays high because the pancreas doesn't secrete enough insulin, or the insulin doesn't work well to unlock cells and let glucose in. During pregnancy, the placenta sends oxygen and nutrients from the mother's bloodstream to the fetus through the umbilical cord. The placenta also secretes hormones to support the pregnancy. Some of these hormones can cause what's called insulin resistance, which is when insulin doesn't work efficiently. These changes are more likely later in pregnancy, so you may need medication or insulin in your 3rd trimester, even if you followed all recommendations. If gestational diabetes isn't controlled, the fetus's glucose will also be high. Even though your baby gets glucose from the food you eat, its pancreas secretes its own insulin. When the glucose is consistently high, the baby has to secrete more insulin to get its glucose under control, which can make the baby gain more weight and increase the likelihood of needing a C-section. Soon after birth, the pancreas of a baby who had high glucose during pregnancy can continue to secrete high levels of insulin until it adjusts to no longer getting high glucose. That can lead to your baby's blood sugar going too low in the first few days of life. You may need to feed the baby right away and give the baby glucose through an IV. According to the CDC, about 60% of those with gestational diabetes will eventually develop type 2 diabetes. Babies of mothers with gestational diabetes have a higher risk of developing early childhood obesity and type 2 diabetes later on. The good news is, catching gestational diabetes empowers pregnant mothers to take steps to ensure the best possible health outcomes now and in the years to come. Your doctor can help you prevent, postpone, or control gestational diabetes with a diet and exercise plan that's right for you. If you do develop diabetes during pregnancy, your doctor will test your blood sugar 6 to 12 weeks after your baby is born and continue to check it every year. As always, knowledge is power when it comes to your pregnancy. Remember, it never hurts to contact your doctor if you have questions.